If I had to build a business YouTube channel from scratch right now, these are the exact steps I would take. And I know this works because one video I made for my client Marko brought in over 10,000 views and 170 plus qualified leads. And I'm doing this exact same thing for my own channel right now, and it already booked my first inbound call after only 3 videos posted. So in this video I'm giving you the entire foundation, the exact process behind actually running the channel the right way, plus a full breakdown of your first 90 days and the mistakes that are quietly killing most channels. If you want to start booking calls from your channel without months figuring it out, watch this video till the end because I'm going to give you the exact system that gets you there. So as you can see, I split this video into 3 big sections. First one being the foundation, then we have building the client acquisition system, and in the end we have a reality of the first 90 days. So let's get started with the section number 1, which is, as I already said, foundation, and we are going to start with the most important thing, which is ideal client persona. And this is actually the first thing I would lock in because it will decide my topics, my language, and my actual proof. If I get it wrong, everything is just going to be generic, but on the other side, if I get it right, content is basically going to write itself. And here's the example of Wake ICP. I help people make money. That can literally be anybody, so I need to be a little bit more specific. For example, I help business owners add 20 to 30 calls a month with YouTube client acquisition system. And I have seen a lot of business owners make the same mistake of going too broad with their ICP. If your ICP is unclear, nobody's going to feel called out enough to stop scrolling and actually click on your video. I have also seen the opposite mistake of business owners going hyper specific, so they're basically talking to only 5 people on earth. For example, left-handed business owners living in Ivory Coast. And this is how it actually looked like on the graph right here. As you can see, like this right here is too narrow. Then we have just right, which is this green circle right here. Like this should be your ICP. Your ICP should never be this broad, as you can see with the red circle right here. Now I would actually deep dive into their pains and desires because knowing who I'm talking to is only a step 1, but if I don't know what actually keeps them up at night, I'm still just guessing. So first I would ask myself the simple question: what is my ICP's biggest pain? And for my ICP, it would be something like they do not know where the next client is coming from. Then we have their guiding cold outreach every day and they absolutely hate it. Moving on, we have their close rates are low, around 20 to 30%, because prospects do not trust them enough before the actual call. Then we have they're watching competitors grow, they're feeling stuck. Moving on, we have they're constantly splitting their energy between delivering their offer and finding new clients. And their last pain that comes to my mind is YouTube feels like too much work with no guaranteed return. Then I would ask myself this next simple question, which is what is my ICP's biggest desire? An example for my ICP again would be something like 20 plus pre-sold inbound clients per month from YouTube. Then we have to completely ditch the cold outreach itself. Moving on, we have higher close rates because prospects already trust them enough before the actual call. Then we have to be recognized as the go-to authority in their space. Then moving on, we have to focus purely on delivering their offer and helping their clients. And the last desire that comes to my mind is going to be predictable, consistent, compounding lead flow that grows over time. And once I know the answer to these 2 questions, there's only one piece left before I can start building the client acquisition system. And that is actually standing out from the crowd. I need to find a way to stand out from my competitors. So the question I would ask myself is going to be something like, what makes me different from my direct competitors? And for my case, that would be something like, I'm not teaching people how to become YouTubers or chase views. I'm teaching them how to build acquisition assets for their business. And the bonus case is actually going to be from a trading niche, and it is from this guy right here. And his channel's name is Run It Up, as you can see right here. So yeah, and he's a trader who stands out in a sea of trading channels because he uses life paths and numerology in his strategy. Same niche, completely different and fresh angle. And as you can see, this video right here posted 3 months ago brought him in around 160k plus qualified views. He's been only posting on YouTube for around 5 months, and the reason he blew up is simply because he came into this trading niche. His approach felt like a breath of fresh air, as I already said, and that uniqueness combined with the content executed top notch is exactly why he blew up so fast. So with that being said, you need to repeat why you're different in every single video, even though it's going to feel like you're boring people to death. Trust me, you're not, because every new person watching your channel for the first time has never heard of your method method before, and if you don't repeat it, they'll never connect it back to you and you won't stand out from your competitors. So now, just before I move to the section 2, I want you to answer these questions clearly so you can actually get the foundation right. So the first 3 questions are going to be about your ICP, which are who is my ICP, what is their current situation, what is their dream outcome. Then we have pains and desires, what are their fears and frustrations, and we have what are their desires. Moving on for the positioning, what's my unique positioning. And now that you've answered all of these questions, we can finally move to the section number 2, which is actually going to teach you how to build the client acquisition system. And the first thing I would make sure is right if I start my channel from scratch is the channel setup. Before I even think about recording a single video, I need to make sure that everything on my channel is aligned. And here is the example of that. Like if banner, bio and links are directly communicating my offer, then I'm going to make shit ton of money. But if this happens, if any of these are misaligned, it is going to create confusion within my audience, and the confused people are just going to exit my channel. So here is how that would look like if banner, for example, is talking about a random thing, bio is talking about another random thing, and the links are just pointing to my offer, it is still going to mean an empty bag of cash. So when someone actually lands on my channel, they should immediately understand who I help and what I do without any guessing, because if there's anything misaligned, they're going to be like, okay, what is this guy doing? I cannot comprehend it. I'm just going to quit and find another guy, and that's pretty much it, because that is how our brains work. And here is the example of my channel, how it should look like. As you can see right here, my banner is talking clearly to my ICP and what I'm doing. Also, you can see the first thing right here, which is to work with me. Here are some of my videos also, and for description, literally tell people what I do clearly, and I am talking clearly to my ICPs. Also, they can see again, work with me, my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Gmail, so they can contact me on any of these platforms right here. That is how the perfect channel setup should look like. This is how your channel should look like. And this is exactly how I would set up my channel if I started from scratch. Moving on to the 3-pillar sales funnel, because once my channel is aligned, I need an actual system for what I post, not just the random ideas whenever inspiration hits. So here's the actual sales funnel that I would be using, and it consists of the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. The top of the funnel content should be somewhere around 50 to 60% of my content. Its job is to gather new audience, and the audience is going to be pretty cold. Moving on, we have the middle of the funnel, and it should be around 20 to 30% of my content, and its actual job is going to be to nurture people and to set myself as an authority. And the audience is already here going to be pretty warmed up, and they might even convert. And the last step is actually bottom of the funnel. It should be around 10 to 20% of my content, and its only job is to actually convert audience, and the audience that is going to watch these videos are just going to need that last tiny piece of proof that I actually helped somebody. They're going to watch it, and in the end, they're going to book a call with me. They're going to come pre-sold. And when I actually dial in this funnel, it is going to lead me again to a massive amount of cash. And each one of these has its own job. Top of the funnel is going to bring in new people. Middle of the funnel is going to build trust and is going to set me up as an authority. Bottom of the funnel is actually going to convert people. And now here's some of the mistakes that I can make, but I'm not going to make it, because if I only post top of the funnel, I'm going to get views, but nobody is going to stick around long enough to trust me and to actually work with me, because those are the videos that are just here to get me audience. Then if I only post middle of the funnel, I'm never going to reach enough new people, because nothing is going to be pulling them in. But again, I'm going to convert some of the people that already follow me maybe on my socials. Then we have the bottom of the funnel. Nobody's going to know who I am yet, so the proof means nothing to them, and they're just not going to watch those videos. If I make any of these mistakes, it is going to lead me to the empty bag of cash. And now that my channel is aligned and I finally know the 3 types of content I need, the next question is where the actual video ideas come from. And for that, I'm going to use 3 different methods to never run out of ideas. And the first method is actually going to be adjacent niche research. So here is my still like an artist formula that I would use. It consists of looking at adjacent niches, spotting the outliers, reframing those ideas for my own niche. And in the end, I'm going to be the first person to bring that idea into my own space. I'm going to instantly stand out. If I keep doing this, I'm going to be just like this black sheep right here. And I'm going to be just like run it up, as we already talked about the trading guy. Then moving on to the second method that I would use, and it is mind your own business. Every step of my own offer is going to be a video idea waiting to be made. So for my YouTube, it would be something like this. I can make videos about ideation, script writing, video editing, packaging, SEO, uploading, and I can make multiple video ideas for the every step of my offer, just because I'm going to change angles, I'm going to change the formats. Some of them are going to be top of the funnel, some of them are going to be middle of the funnel, etc, etc. Now I can move on to the method number 3, and I'm going to take inspiration from big YouTubers. I'm going to look at what's working for creators with massive audiences and years of testing behind them. And their top performing videos are actually a gold mine of ideas that I can reframe for my own angle. And here's some of the YouTubers I would take inspiration from. First of all, we have Alex Hormozzi, then we have Dan Martel, Iman Gadji Business, Ali Abdal, and in the end we have Jordan Baum. But one thing I would need to keep in mind is that one video with 70k views uploaded 5 years ago doesn't mean it is still relevant today. So I'm always going to ask myself, does this topic still apply right now? And I'm going to use vidIQ to check when it was posted and how it is currently performing. And each methods alone work, but combined they mean I'm never going to run out of ideas. Now that I have finally prepared the ideas for my next few videos, I can move on to the actual packaging. And before I write a single word of the script, I need to lock in the packaging. First, packaging consists of thumbnail and title, and they're 80% of the reason if somebody will click on my video, because I can give the greatest value in the world, I can have the best editing in the world. If my packaging is trash, nobody's going to click on it. So we are actually going to start with titles themselves, and my titles needs to do only two things. The first one is to tell people what the video is about, and the second one is to make them click. And the most important part of the title needs to be written in the first 55 characters, because that's all that shows on mobile before it gets cut off. And here is the example of the title getting cut off for the mobile. You can see right here, and the original title is I studied 10,000 LinkedIn posts. Here's what gets engagement in 2026. And there are actually two types of titles. The first one being the searchable titles. They're front loaded with the exact keywords my ICP types into YouTube search. And here's some of the examples: how to actually script a YouTube video that books calls 55 characters long, how to come up with YouTube video ideas that book calls 55 characters long. These are the both video ideas from my own videos. Then we have the curiosity titles right here. They're built to grab attention on the browse feed, even if nobody's searching that exact phrase. And here are some of the examples right here. We have I studied 10,000 LinkedIn posts. Here's what's getting engagement in 2026, 68 characters long, which again, it is a bit on the longer side. Then we have I sent 1.5 million cold emails last month. Here's what works in 2026, again, around 66 characters long. Now we can move on to the actual thumbnails, and the good thumbnail comes down to only 4 things. The first thing being my face, and it actually should be taking around 30 to 40% of the frame, showing real emotion that matches the video itself. I'm not over expressing and making Mr. Beast facial expressions or something like that. Then we have number 2, which is 4 words or less. Title is already doing the heavy lifting. Thumbnail needs to add up to the title, not repeat itself. Then moving on to the number 3, including logos, my audience already recognizes it, and it already builds instant credibility because of the familiarity. For example, Stripe, Calendly, YouTube, Instagram, etc, etc. And the last one is going to be number 4, which are bright, contrasting colors. Dark backgrounds get buried on the homepage because 80% of the people use YouTube dark mode. So here are actually some of the examples of good thumbnails right here and bad thumbnails right here. And as we can see right here, we have only 3 words. This guy is around 30 to 40%, maybe even more on the screen itself. We have a clean background that is telling us he's talking about money or something like that, as well as the text itself. And also the title doesn't repeat. And from my video right here, we can again see me in the first focus. White background, so I'm contrasting. We have the ideas right here, so this is the only text right here, and it is already associating people. Okay, this video is going to be about this. But on the other side, we have videos like this, and this was like my story video, like how I got into high ticket sales. And when I see this thumbnail, I will be like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is this video even about? So I've completely skipped it. Also, it is pretty dark. It is going to be pretty much buried with the YouTube itself. And then we have this thumbnail right here, which is okay if you're doing like Miro videos or something like that. But again, it is completely confusing because this video is about how to land the high ticket sales role or something like that, and it just doesn't make sense. And also here's the activate window. So yeah, and here actually how all of these thumbnails are looking on the feed itself. And here are some of the random thumbnails mixed in as well. You can see this thumbnail literally just like the homepage itself, like completely black. It just doesn't stand out, while we have this thumbnail right here completely stands out, as well as this one right here. Then we have this one which stands out, but it is looking pretty messy in contrast to all of the others. We have this tunnel right here, which again stands out pretty good. Now that I've finally figured out the packaging and the ideation, I can finally move on to the script writing. So let's break it down step by step, starting up with the intro itself. And my intro is always scripted word to word. And the first step is actually going to be click confirmation. I will let them know immediately they're in the right place. I'm going to confirm the exact thing they clicked for. Moving on for step number 2, we have social proof. I'll give give them a reason to trust me by showing them my results. And if I don't give them that reason, they will just click off the video itself, because why would they trust me? Moving on to step number 3, which is what they're going to get. I will tell them what they're going to get in this video. If they aren't qualified or interested in this topic, they just simply click off the video and that's pretty much it. Moving on, we have the step number 4, which is the open loop. Before we go into the content itself, think about the single biggest payoff your viewer came for. What's the one thing they're going to stay till the end to get? Plan that payoff as a question or a tease early. Tell them they'll get it by the end of the video itself. That unresolved tension is going to keep my audience watching the video till the end, and my retention is going to be high all the way through. Also, open loop and what they're going to get step sometimes can be interchanged, and it really doesn't matter. So yeah, moving on, we have the body itself, and my body is going to actually be scripted in bullet points. And the reason is pretty simple, because first of all, I don't want to make myself sound like a robot, and the second of all, I really want my personality to shine through. I only have bullet points so I can keep track about what I should be talking about, so I don't want to write off the script or just start talking about the random topic, and that's pretty much it. So with that being said, every body point actually runs the exact same cycle, and we have the open loop first, which is introduce the topic with the mini hook, make them curious about what's coming, don't give them the answer yet. Then we have the tension. Tension tells them why this topic matters, bring in something that makes them feel the problem before we even solve it. That could be a contrast, a common difficulty, something most people get wrong, a mistake you made, a client story. Pick what fits the point. I don't need to put like all of these stuff right here. Moving on, I have the payoff, and now I give them the answer, the thing they stayed for. Resolution always comes last, and every body point functions on the same cycle. And this chain is actually what keeps people watching past the point where most videos lose them. The moment I close the open loop, I need to open the next one immediately. Now moving on, we have the mid CTA, and my mid CTA is always scripted word to word also, and it should be placed around 30 to 40% mark of the video itself, so it is going to catch people before they naturally just start dropping off, even if they never make it to the outro itself. And no mid CTA is actually going to mean that I'm going to lose everyone who leaves early, and that's most of my viewers. So here are some of the versions of the bad mid CTA and the good mid CTA, and the bad mid CTA would look like something like this. Hey guys, so before we continue, I just want to take a quick second to talk about my program, blah 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 blah. I completely broke the flow of the video. It lasted for around 2 to 3 minutes, something like that. People are just annoyed because I'm delaying them the value, and they're just going to click off the video. But on the contrast, the good mid CTA would look like something like this. If you want me to handle your entire YouTube strategy, click the first link in the description and book free strategy call with me. And by the way, if you want to go deeper into each part we just covered, the playlist will be in the description, and I'll update it as time goes on. And with that said, we can finally move on to the outro, and my outro is also scripted word for word. And the step 1 is actually going to be recap. Remind them of everything they just learned, keep it short, 1 or 2 sentences covering the main points. This anchors the value in their mind right before I make my ask. And moving on, we have acknowledging the gap. And they just got a lot from this video, but they're still missing something. I need to name it specifically. I'm going to make them feel it. This is what creates the need for what I have to offer to them. Moving on, we have step number 3, which is going to be 2 options, and I need to give them 2 clear paths. First one is going to be option number 1, go figure it out alone, and the second one is going to be come work with me. And I need to frame option 2 so it feels like the obvious choice to them, and I need to tell them exactly where to go next. I need to move them to the next step of my sales funnel. Moving on to the step number 4, it is going to be nurture the audience to the next video, because not everyone is ready to buy right now, so I need to send them to my next video, keep them inside my content funnel, and the longer they stay in my world, the more likely they're going to convert later. And the last step is actually going to be like and subscribe. It just always ends up here, but only after I did everything else first. And now that I finally covered the script writing, I can move on to the part that everyone overthinks the most, and it actually matters the least, which is the equipment itself. And I don't need expensive gear to start. I only need a phone, which I already have. Then I have the decent microphone, and it is around $30 on Amazon. In the end, I have a cheap ring light, which would be around $20 on Amazon, or I can just use the natural sunlight, which is absolutely free. And like, that's pretty much it, what I would need to start, because business owners watching my content actually care about whether I can solve their problem and not whether my lighting looks cinematic or my camera is in like 4K and all those stuff. But again, it can definitely help, but sometimes in the future. Moving on, we have the recording itself, because once my gear is sorted, it's finally time to record. So here's the actual pre-recording checklist that I would follow. Camera at an eye level, face centered in the frame, some torso visible, lenses are clean, my battery is charged, soft even light on my face, no harsh shadows. Then we have clean uncluttered background, solid colors of my outfit that contrast, mic tested before I hit record, and water nearby so I can finally stay hydrated through the whole video itself. And I know that my first few videos are definitely going to be awkward, and that's completely normal because everyone goes through it, but as the time goes on, I will be better and better in front of the camera. And here's actually how a comfort curve would look like compared from the confidence on camera to number of videos posted. It's just going to skyrocket, as you can see. And here are actually some of the bonus tips for recording that I would follow. Once the camera starts rolling, I'm going to treat it like I'm speaking to one person, my ideal client sitting right in front of me and not actually to a camera, because energy matters and feather really is going to just lose people pretty fast. And the second bonus tip is going to be, if I mess up mid-sentence, I don't restart from last four that I said correctly, and I don't keep with the dropped energy. I'm going to take a pause, repeat the last few words of my last clean sentence, and then I'm going to naturally continue with the same energy as before. Now that I finally recorded my first video, I'm going to jump into the video editing itself. So yeah, at minimum, I need just basic editing, which is cutting the dead air and cutting the mistakes, and maybe even some color grading if I record in log. So yeah, beyond that, animations and visuals can really help with retention, explaining complex topics, and making my message land harder. But to be honest, editing is literally like not a make or break, because if my ideation, packaging, and script writing are trash, then no amount of video editing is going to save my video from that. And here's the actual editing spectrum that I would follow. If I'm into B2B, I would use basic editing with some of the animations, because again, business owners do not really care about editing so much. Maybe some editing in the intro, that's pretty much it. But if I am in B2C niche, I would go with higher editing, because those people just need dopamine, those people need to keep hooked in and all those stuff. So that's the reason for that. Now that I'm done with the video editing, my videos can actually be great and still get 0 views if nobody can find them, because YouTube is a search engine, so my titles and descriptions need to match what my ICP is actually typing into that search bar. So here's the SEO checklist that I would follow. Title and description match what my ICP is actually searching. Timestamps in every description. Then I have keywords in description, not just the title. First link in my description goes to the next step in my funnel, and pinned comment with the link to, since not everyone checks the description itself. Also, the algorithm itself reads my transcript, so I work my keywords naturally into what I'm actually saying on camera, not just the title and description itself. And here is the example of SEO for my own channel. As you can see, we have the first link right here. Then we have some of the keywords and what they're going to get in the video itself. Again, what they're going to learn. I'm hitting another part of the keywords. Then I have the client interview, which I mentioned in the video itself. Then I have my socials. Follow me on Twitter, on Instagram. Then you can DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. And in the end, we have some of the timestamps right here, again, for the algorithm itself, and so people can just navigate much more easily. And as you can see, also here is my pinned comment that I have on my every video, which is book 10 to 30 qualified calls through YouTube in 90 days. Here is the link to my calendar. And now I can finally move to the last step, which is posting Cadence, and everything I just covered means nothing without consistency. This is whether it either compounds or falls apart. And right here we can see a graph of book calls through time, and as we can see, our line represents one video consistently, and we have at the beginning it is starting off slow, then the compounding effect kicks in, and we can see it completely skyrocketing and just going to our ICP. On the contrast, we have this dotted line right here, 3 videos a week, then disappear for a month itself. At the beginning it can look like super good, it is going amazing, then I disappear for a month and it is going to result in the algorithm not recognizing my videos. not pushing them to the right audience or to my ICPs, everything is just going to fall flat. So that leads us to the conclusion that one video a week minimum consistently beats 3 videos a week, then a month of silence. And this is a long game, and my channel only compounds if I stay consistent with it. And now that I finally covered this huge section number 2, we can move on to the section number 3, which is actually reality of the first 90 days. And here is the actual timeline. Day 0 to 30, videos published at least 4, then views, there should be around 30 to 100 per video, calls booked 0 to 2 if I already have an audience on other social media platforms. And what I'm focused on, I am focused on building the structure right, getting relaxed on the camera, and improving with every single video. And my goal is implementing the habit of creating organic YouTube videos, so it just feels like a routine to me. Then moving on, we have 30 to 60 days, videos published at least 8 videos, views around 100 plus per video, calls booked 1 to 3 from warm traffic that found me organically through YouTube only, and I'm going to be focused on doubling down what's already proving to work. And here's where real organic traffic hits, the algorithm starts pushing my videos towards my ICP. And moving on, we have day 60 to 90, and the videos published at least 12, at least once per week, views 300 plus per video, and people actually start to change watching my videos because I already built a solid foundation. Then we have calls booked around 2 to 5 per month, calls getting shorter because people already know me and already trust me because they see me as an authority, and I'm going to be focused on consistency and improving with every video again. And the foundation of the whole ecosystem is finally set, compounding effect starts kicking in. And I just want to quickly congratulate you because by this point you just created 12 assets for a client acquisition system, which is absolutely amazing. Now you're literally printing cash while you sleep from YouTube itself, and it only took you like 3 months. That's pretty much it. And here's the extra bonus for you, which is timeline for 90 plus days. Videos published at least 1 per week, views 500 plus per video, growing by each video since everything is super connected. Then calls booked around 5 plus per month, exponential growth around 15 to 20 plus by month 6th. Then we have, I'm going to be focused on consistency and refining my craft. And this is actually where the compounding effect actually completely takes over and YouTube becomes my 24/7 salesman. And here are actually some of the common mistakes that a lot of people would make that I would not if I'm starting from scratch. So yeah, quitting too early, this is the biggest one, walking away right before it would have started working. Then comparing yourself to channels that have been posting for years. That comparison is pointless and it will make you second guess a system that is actually working just super early. Then we have chasing virality. Fewer views with the right ICP beats a viral video that brings in the wrong audience, because those wrong audience will never buy from you. And here is actually how I would turn my channel into a certified weapon. The first thing is nurturing my audience from other social media platforms. For the Instagram, I would do something like this: story sequences and reels pointing to my own videos, and it is going to point direct to YouTube. For the X or the Twitter itself, I would do curiosity driven or pain driven posts or just simply giveaways, and again I'm going to drive people to the YouTube itself. And for the LinkedIn itself, I would only upload the posts that break down a piece of what I already covered in the video itself, nurturing that audience towards watching the full thing on the YouTube itself, as you can see. And doing this is only going to move my qualified audience to my YouTube channel, and in this way I'm going to fulfill the 7-11-4 rule the fastest. And right now you might be wondering, okay, but what is the 7-11-4 rule? The 7 stands out for 7 hours of content consumed before someone is ready to buy. 11 means 11 touch points with your brand across different places, and the 4 actually means different platforms they need to see you on. And the other way that I would actually use YouTube is as a pre-call video strategy. I would send a prospect the exact video that fits their situation, a client interview for someone who was in the same spot they are in now, or a full breakdown video like this one that already explains how everything works. That way I'm not spending half the call just explaining my own process because my prospect already knows it. So now you have the entire system. You now know how to nail your ICP and your positioning, as well how to figure out their pains and desires, how to actually structure and execute your content, and what to realistically expect over your first 90 days. But here's the thing, knowing the system and actually executing it consistently video after video are two completely different things. You still need to nail the ideation, the packaging, the scripting, the editing, the SEO, and the upload every single week without skipping a beat while you're running your own business. So right now you really have only two options. You can take everything I just gave you and go build this yourself, handle the execution yourself, test what works, learn what does not, and slowly start seeing results over the next few months. Or you can let me handle the whole YouTube system for you, from ideation, packaging, scripting, video editing, SEO, and uploading. And the best thing is that you actually have to record for only 30 minutes per week, and that's pretty much it. And that is the exact same thing I did for my client Marko, and one video got him around 10k plus views, and as you can see 230 plus subscribers as well. It was 41.9% of the SEO or the YouTube search itself, and it got him around 170 plus qualified leads, as you can see right here on a fresh new channel with zero ads involved. So if you pick the second option, click the first link in the description and book a quick strategy call with me. And if you're not ready for that yet, go and check the playlist that just appeared on your screen. It will walk you through everything we just covered today in way more depth, and I'm going to update it as the time goes on. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.